We all know what is not art, but do you know what art is?
You know what, I really rarely worry about that. I know it's an interesting question whether something is art or not, but I think all great art is always on the edge of not being art.
You know, Caroline Bakajev doesn't know, she says. She's doing the documentary, but she doesn't still know what it is.
I think it's also only interesting when it's in discussion. And you know, I think the role of the arts is always to ask about something on the edge. Say, can you as a viewer accept this as a possibility? I don't think artists think so much about art. I think they think about possibilities.
We know you more being a painter.
Yes.
Of very cruel, powerful, colorful paintings.
Yes.
But it's less. It's more an environment.
No, it's just some of it is painting, some of it is broken painting. So I guess, you know.
It's bad painting as well.
No, I never think about that. I think that's a word that kind of appeared some generations ago, but I never think about bad painting. I think only about possibilities. I think about a place to sleep at night. I think about, never think about bad painting.
And do you really live in such an environment at home, or is it an invention?
No, I think, you do a certain artwork and then you think how to explain, how to communicate this work. Sometimes you communicate an artwork just alone. People can walk around it. Sometimes you place other objects beside it to kind of help it. Actually, maybe I'm just trying to be pedagogic.
You want or don't want?
No, I think I really want to get people into the work. And I really want to help people to take, let's say there are 5 steps to an artwork. So I want to help them with the 2 first steps. The 3 last steps is something else.
And can we see here the new Danish design?
Oh, that's another word that I never think about, Danish design. I mean, I grew up in the 70s in Denmark, and I think
we as well.
Yeah. You also grew up in Denmark in the 70s?
No, but in the Danish design.
Yeah, it's a burden. And it's something whether you love it or hate it, it's with you. No, I just look for possibilities. If it's possible.
When you grew up, you liked it?
I never questioned it. I just grew up among it. I just saw the chair looks like this because it looks like this. I thought about architecture and design like I think about the forest. It's not something I question. I just think, oh, here's a house, here's a chair. Later in life, you find out you have a chance to discuss them.
Yeah, of course. And you don't want to create a new style?
A style of art or design?
A style of art or aesthetics or matters, a language.
I think it's a very difficult ambition. I think, again, I like repetition, so I say, no, I just look for possibilities. Whatever this possibility would be called by others, I have to accept it. Some could also say whatever I find possible is regressive, so I have to accept it. I can discuss it, but...
Sounds very nice and tolerant.
Yeah, no, it's just... there's so many, it's like a cake, there's a baker and there's also, the one selling the cake, eating the cake, talking about the cake. I can't do all those jobs. I'm in the studio, I'm lost in the studio, and I try to search for possibilities. Yeah, in the beginning it looked like a working place, but I don't like the idea of a working place. So it looks more like a nice place to be.
Not a factory.
No. And there are many different beds, because I like to fall asleep different places. I think sometimes sleeping is a little bit like appetite.
Yeah.
So you don't always want the same bed. You just want sometimes to have a very low bed, high bed. Sometimes you even want to sleep sitting. So my studio is full of different beds.
5? Oh, how?
Yeah, there are 5 beds.
Wow.
Yeah.
I never heard this.
I also never heard it.
And you made it your own, the beds?
No, sometimes I ask other people. Like I have a very beautiful bed here that's designed by one of my students called TalR, a Japanese guy. And I asked him, I said, can you please make a bed for me?
We had an interview with him.
Yeah.
TalR Kajimoto.
He's a great artist.
Yeah.
So he did a bed for me.
A Meisterschüler.
He's a Meisterschüler. He's a Meister himself. And
He has often some installations with beds.
yeah, he's a great guy. And then I colored it with some other students afterwards. And another student put a sleeping artist in the bed. So there are some of my students here helping, participating.
That is a nice picture, huh? A sleeping artist.
Yeah, I like it
What
too.
will come out
Yeah, because
of his dreams and ideas and relaxing?
I think, there are not that many wild cards today. I think when people give birth, it's a wild card. But the other wild card is sleeping. How many other wild cards? The brain is also quite special, but sleeping, that's a wild card.
We have the image of a wild, wise man and a sleeping goddess. But I never heard of a sleeping artist.
Sleeping artist is a great thing. That's very underrated. And I think, to make art, it should be a little bit like sleeping. Or like dreaming at least. Because when you go to bed, you don't make a list of the things you want to dream about. You dream what you need to dream.
And you have different dreams in different beds?
I don't dream that much. I just sleep. So
And your ideas come not from sleeping and dreaming, but
No,
from...
it's just. I just think sleeping is a wild card, and I think art is also a wild card. If you think of art as something in society, among other things, the job you're doing, the job the woman over there doing, and then art is a wild card.
When I go through your exhibition here and passing by, it's next to a dream, like a little bit a daydream or what?
I think if you are into looking for possibilities, you search very hard. It goes very fast. You get up in such a high speed that you don't even question your ideas anymore. You just understand now it's right. This one is right. This one is right. Therefore, some of the ideas, they are just so much faster than language. I think they're even faster than dreams. So they could have some similarities, but all the images, there are so few words in our language. We can call it intuition. The moment you say intuition, you also talk about eating vegetarian or wearing sandals. I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about just very fast reflection about certain things. And an artist doesn't reflect about nothing. You reflect about certain things. And you are not just, you are this character you are whether you want it or not. And you reflect about something outside yourself. Tuck, 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 tuck.
What does interest me now in my work is artists in a sort of crisis. For I'm thinking that is out of run or out of discussion. But it's very important to create a work to go through a crisis. And sometimes you see it in the works, he didn't know how far or how it goes on, how it may go on, how the possibility to go on. It's ready, but there's an uncertainty. And so I believe in crisis.
Yeah,
in this way.
I don't believe in suffering, but I believe in taking chances. And I believe that if you want to make something great, you have to do something that you don't recognize necessarily as art. And maybe that comes close to what we in our culture call crisis. But I think it's wrong to say that you want crisis.
No. Of course.
Yeah, that's like being a masochist.
No.
But I think I always had this dream.
You can't keep on avoiding it.
Your office is across the street from the academy. And I have this dream that I want them to write, and I would love it to be, a bright sign, maybe even in neon, over the academy, that says invest in losing. That means that an academy should be a place where you invest in something that has no value.
Perhaps you will do it in the roof of our building, and the academy can see it.
No, I want it in front of the academy so the students understand what it is about. It's about putting your money on something you don't recognize as art yet.
This comes nearer to what I mean.
Yeah.
It's not to look for, but you step in and you can't avoid it. If you avoid a lifetime of the crisis, you can't be an artist, you can't do some fantastic things.
No. Yeah.
That comes from some more deeper somethings. And otherwise you can't go up.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, so.
That's enough. Let's have a drink. Come on.